When we injure ourselves physically, like we break a bone or we cut our skin and there is an immediate response to that, we'll quickly get help naturally, instinctively. But when something's out of balance on a more subtle level, unfortunately, we might not yet know, we might not be aware of what is going on, and we might not be aware that it is possible to become sound and healthy again, even when we cannot see the wound. Energy healing is based on the idea that our body has an energetic life force. It has energy centers or chakras. When the body is ill, the energy centers are out of balance, which will compromise the body's innate capacity for self-healing. The goal of energy healing is to balance that energy, to regain that flow, so life force and healing energy can flow through the body and regain the sense of ease. It can also help healing physical and emotional traumas. I was diagnosed with chronic depression, managed with antidepressants, and chronic asthma since childhood. By practicing yoga and pranayama breathing techniques, meditation, asthma disappeared without notice, and I was able to let go of the antidepressants. My mind has always been skeptical. I believe it, but I investigate until I have enough evidence that allows me to really validate what was the science behind such a profound transformation. At first, I went to India to study yoga. I started learning about the chakras and the philosophy of holistic healing. I understood that by moving my body in a particular way, by breathing in a particular way, by meditating and relaxing my nervous system, allowed healing to occur. I noticed that the problem about our Western medicine was to isolate symptoms and focus on treating symptoms as opposed to seeing the whole picture. The holistic approach also had something missing. I didn't really understand how that took place, how that was effective, and we didn't have yet scientific studies to validate and verify how that could occur and how that occurs, and it does occur. My mind is curious and intrigued, and I want to know exactly what's going on, because I think it's healthy to question any beliefs and not believe anything blindly. First of all, we need to understand that whoever is angry and attacking one another, creating painful experiences for oneself and others, is clearly wounded. Anger is always going to reveal some form of pain. We cannot see that because there is not a cut, there is not a slit in the skin, and there is no blood, and there is not a clear broken bone, but there is definitely pain, and there is definitely a wound inside. And a wooden person can be unaware of the possibilities for healing, can be unaware, innocently unaware, that it is possible to become sound and healthy again and at ease again. This can be expressed in a community, a wounded community, in a country, that will also collectively express that wound in form of hurt, grief, anger, can be attacking others because there is not awareness of another possibility. This is why healing is very important. It's important for us to understand our personal wounds and how that can be unintentionally creating and perpetuating pain for ourselves, for our loved ones, and that can ripple into family and so on, past and future generations. And it is important to know the possibility of becoming at ease again, at peace again, and how that will ripple to our personal life, our family life, our collective life, and eventually to our global experience. So this expands from personal experience, personal healing, to global healing. That's how important that is. That's how important it is for us to, as individuals, to look inside and find out where are we in pain. And even if we don't see it's bleeding, it might be bleeding inside. It is real and it can be healed. Latest studies in quantum physics made clear how healing can occur, and how we can be really excited about these new possibilities available to us. Einstein discovered the famous formula E equals mc squared. E stands for energy equals mass times the speed of light squared. I never did well in physics. However, all we need right now is to understand matter, what looks very solid, is actually energy at a certain density, and here we are, our body. That can still sound okay. I know this energy, so what? What do I do with that? How do I feel at ease? That's what we want. What matters is that we can feel at ease, we can feel at peace with each other, with one another. And that's what matters. So knowing that we are energy, now we can ask, what is energy? Energy is information. We have an individual energy field that is connected with what some scientists call the unified field, and it is in constant exchange of information. And we experience that information through our thoughts, feelings, and then we're going to act. We're going to act based on our thoughts and feelings that are creating a certain experience. And then when we act, we again get a feedback from our actions that will create feelings and thoughts and so on. And in a constant feedback loop of information. Through our lifetime, we go through and create a series of this information exchange that will get stored in our memory. We only know that we are changing and evolving because we remember. The unified field also has a memory bank, often referred to as Akashic records. Every single experience in any timeline is recorded. So when we go through an experience at a certain timeline, perhaps in that moment, we are not aware, we are not mature enough, and sometimes we are so little, we are not equipped to process that experience and allow that experience to flow through us, leaving what needs to leave, such as some data, some information. And we will perhaps contract, react, or hold on to it. That experience will leave an imprint in our field, in our individual field. Some people refer to it as blockage, let's say a spot in the ocean where the water is not flowing through. We know that energy is information. That imprint is stored in it some form of information. Instead of experiencing new and fresh waves, new and fresh information, perhaps more creative, we are going to experience the same kind of information because it's going to keep rippling. Like imagine a ripple, it will ripple, and we're going to experience shame again, shame again, shame again, fear again. And you notice that the outside looks different, like different scenes, different people perhaps, different episodes going on, but the experience feels the same. I still feel scared. I still feel ashamed. I still feel angry. I feel angry at these people. I just met them, but I feel angry at them. And what it is it's that wound, that painful experience that wasn't fully processed through. And some people will say it's stored in your body and continue to ripple similar quality of experience. That's what it's often called, a pattern, until that is released. That's when healing comes in. We can, from any moment in time, from the present moment and now, we can access any information from this memory bank, this massive memory bank in the unified field, and we have the power to change it. We can then look at the current experience, look at the event in the past, but from our current level of awareness, and you have the power to, yes, go back to any experience and change the way you perceive it and possibly release it and become healthy and sound again, become at ease again. The shift in the present moment ripples to past generations and ripples to future generations. And that's how family systems, how family constellation works. We can heal generational wounds, might be experiencing some pattern that is influenced by 4 generations ago, such as alcoholism, such as some form of addiction, such as some form of behavior that we innocently say, oh, it runs in family. And we, instead of, but what about if I choose otherwise? Healing then is the change in the information, in the database of the information of your energy field that will change your physical experience, your mental experience, your emotional experience. New experiences, because we'll not replicate past experiences again. You're not falling in the same traps again. You're not falling in the same patterns again. You're not recreating painful experiences again. It begins with our intention. What's our intent? Our intention will influence this shift of information. My intention to heal, my intention to be sound and healthy, my intention to be at ease will shift the information. A healer is a person who has figured that out and is able to help another up to some extent, because ultimately the individual, the person is the healer. As crazy as it sounds, we can hold on to the pain. We can get used to the pain. Again, that's an innocent, unconscious response that wants to hold on to what's familiar. Ultimately, the result will be determined by how much intention to heal is there. What allows healing to occur is the intention to change the information that creates the experience. So, energy is information, information is experience. Experience is an exchange of data, of a memory, of feedback with the unified field that is evolving with us, that we evolve with it. And it needs us to evolve, so it evolves. When we decide to change the information that we are feeding into the unified field, we will experience a completely different individual experience. We can self-heal by developing a higher level of awareness, by being in a constant self-investigation mode, observing what we feel moment by moment, and when we don't feel at ease, to investigate very closely what is going on there in our thoughts, in our feelings, in our behavior, and decide if we are ready to change that kind of energy, that kind of information, that kind of experience that will ripple to the past and to the future. And we might ask, but why? Why does it happen? Why do we go through it? There is a part of it that is beyond our current level of awareness. There is a mystery. What we know so far is that this unified field, we can call a universe, It's evolving as we evolve. We are exchanging information. When we go through an experience and evolve through that experience, we feed into the unified field memory bank an evolved idea, an evolved experience. It's sad that we, in some level, choose to go through some experiences so we evolve. That's up to us to believe it or not. It does make sense to me. There are a lot of survivors and warriors that have gone through horrible experiences and survived to tell us that they agree with that. That they say, I wouldn't change anything in my story because I wouldn't be who I am today if I hadn't gone through that horrible experience. That doesn't make any experience less painful, unfortunately. But with this understanding, we can learn how to self heal, how to evolve, how to understand, how to forgive. It matters because from personal healing, we then heal generational wounds, family wounds, future generations. And from there, we can heal globally. Global healing looks like the full realization of our interconnectedness, of our oneness, that we are this one field connected to this unified field. And when I am in pain, that's what I'm sending out. When another is in pain, I am in pain. And if we if we realize our interconnectedness, we will eventually create a reality where there are enough resources for everybody and we treat each other with respect, with kindness, and with love. Is this an utopia? Not anymore. Now we know enough, we have enough evidence to prove us that that is possible. And the more we intentionally look into that possibility, we send that information into the unified field and not only heal ourselves, but heal collectively. Please share in the comments your own experience with healing, your ideas, your questions, your beliefs, your disbeliefs, your thoughts, feelings about this topic. And let me know if you're interested in practices that can assist you in your own healing. And I will be happy to share in another video.